really didn't love her. "Please, hurry," Crystal said hysterically. "Ricky said the beating was nothing like what he'd do if I told. He'd make me disappear, like Lizzie and Brandy. Then he tore my clothes off and... Crystal Gonzalez's quivering voice trailed off. "And you did tell," Maggie thought, shaking her head. "Oh my God." "I'm almost home," Maggie said, and then, raising her voice to be heard over Crystal's sobs, added, "Now turn off your phone." Maggie broke off the call. She stuffed the phone in her pocket as her silver SUV rolled up to the intersection. She hung a fast right, pressing harder on the accelerator as she followed Pine Street toward Society Hill. As a rule, and Maggie devoutly believed in rules, a place for everything and everything in its place, she often said, she did not like talking on the phone while driving. She also did not like speeding. And she really did not like breaking her own rule of anyone connected with Mary's house being prohibited from coming to her residence. But seeing Crystal throwing away what might be her last chance to get her life straight, I just can't stand that. We were accomplishing so much. And now this. Mary's house, in nearby South Philadelphia, served as a temporary residence for young children and teenagers waiting to be placed in foster homes by the city's Department of Human Services. The facility actually was composed of 2 4-bedroom row houses sharing a common wall. With no signage announcing its existence, Mary's house looked no different from the neighboring well-kept duplexes that lined the street across from Girard Park. The charity was one of the many ministries of the Church of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary, the century-old Roman Catholic parish on Philadelphia's affluent main line, where Maggie McCain's family had worshipped since before her birth. At Mary's house, Maggie, with a master's degree in social work from the University of Pennsylvania, wore many hats. Her biggest was that of chief administrator. She dealt with the detailed and often obscure requirements of the Department of Human Services while overseeing the 2 other social workers who day to day kept up with the 20-plus female residents, ranging in age from 5 to 17. If allowed, especially as compassion for the kid's lot in life chipped away at any wall of professional detachment, it quickly could become an all-consuming job. Maggie knew the city of Philadelphia had its challenges, perhaps more than its fair share in terms of struggling families. It was the 5th largest city in the United States, with 1 in 4 of its 1.5 million residents living in poverty, a third of them under age 18. And the tragic result of that meant an annual caseload of some 20,000, from infants to teenagers, moving through the overburdened bureaucracy that was the city's Department of Human Services. DHS's role, with hundreds of millions in annual funds, was to protect the abused and neglected. This meant investigating and overseeing broken families, and when necessary, immediately removing children from a potentially dangerous environment. Thus, at any given time, thousands found themselves in temporary care, while DHS evaluated if it was safe for them to be returned to their family, or placed with a foster family. And Mary's house was but one small charity among dozens in Philly providing help, temporary shelter that included food, clothing, health care, and more, until permanent foster care or adoption could be secured. The thick, well-worn file labeled Gonzalez, Crystal Angel had been among the first cases that Maggie McCain had reviewed after arriving at Mary's house. That had been 2 years earlier, when Crystal had just turned 17. It had taken Maggie nearly half a year to earn the confidence of Crystal, who since age 10 had suffered the revolving doors of various homes. The last time at Mary's house had been her 3rd to live there. What Maggie found in her file was, while without question horrific, sadly common.